Hello, we are now looking at the next level of flowchart proofs. And this type of proof kind of adds a few layers into our flowchart. So you're going to start seeing that while there's still some given information, we're actually going to give you fewer things. And there's some things in the given that will kind of help us reveal our next step. So when we start with our flowchart here, it's kind of like a game of Monopoly or, Candy, or I should say maybe like Candyland or Chutes and Ladders. So at the beginning, we start with the given, and then we kind of build that evidence, kind of like claim evidence reasoning to get to that desired result. So first, we have AB is parallel to DC. And I like kind of like marking in the given with a marker. So I know that not only is DC and AB congruent to each other, but they are also parallel. And another thing that I know is that E is the midpoint of BD. Let me just get a little different color there. So I'm going to type in or put in BD, and it's the midpoint. Midpoint means that it cuts in half. And I'm just going to mark those two pieces congruent to each other. And we might want to kind of be thinking about, do we have side, 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 angle, side, or is it like not congruent, for instance? So I'm just going to kind of put that on the side here. So it could be, side, 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 which I do kind of have 2 out of a 3, but it might be a little bit of a stretch to find the third at this point. And then I have SAS as well. So I'm thinking it probably could be, SAS if it is congruent. So let's actually go and see what happens. So we're actually going to go and fill in this proof now. So the first thing that they're kind of giving us here is that AB is parallel to DC, and it tells us that angle B is congruent to angle D. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace angle B, which is, way up there. And I'm also going to trace angle D as well. Actually, I kind of mixed my B and D around, but it kind of forms that zigzag. And you might want to be kind of asking yourself, what vocab word is this going to be? So I'll just pause here for a minute. You kind of think about that. So it should be a alternate interior angle. And I'm going to go to my handy dandy list and look for on my explanations. If I type in alternate interior, even just putting in ALT actually gives me the reason. Parallel lines cut by a transversal form congruent alternate interior angles. Let's say that you were not reading the diagram. If you knew that the symbol was parallel, I could type in parallel, and it could tell me that it's either going to be corresponding angle or alternate interior angle. And because we are inside of the shape, it's going to be alternate interior angles. All right. Now, we're going to go to the second statement, which is E is the midpoint of BD. And when we say that, we ask ourselves, what does midpoint mean? Well, midpoint just means point in the middle. So I'm just going to kind of like highlight that BD again. And if this point E is right in the middle, I'm just going to kind of designate that BE and ED are congruent to each other. And watch this wild trick. We have this vocab word that says midpoint, and I'm going to type in midpoint. And it says a midpoint divides a segment into two congruent segments. All right, last but not least, they actually give us, something that's kind of basic here at the end. So this is saying that AB is congruent to CD. That's going to be, if it's already marked, it's given. And now we kind of had a hunch about SAS. So we're going to put that in and we're going to submit. And we are correct.